All right, and now we're on the show. Hey, welcome everybody. Welcome to Force the Funny. This is episode number 8. I really appreciate everybody who's tuning into this and watching the video. If you guys want to catch the podcast a little bit early, you can go over to Dlive. That's where we were streaming before this. Now we're gonna say goodbye to everybody on Dlive and move along straight into our show. So thank you for watching the pre-show. I really appreciate it. You can now go check out the rest of the show on YouTube later today. Once again, thank you guys for watching, and check out the rest of the podcast later. Bye, Dlive. Alright guys, so we're here on the podcast. Thanks everybody for checking it out and watching. Let's just hop into it. First things first, I want to say that we are now streaming 10 minutes before the podcast starts, and a little bit into the podcast. We are now streaming on Dlive, so if you want to catch me live and maybe talk a little bit in the chat, you can go over there and find me there maybe 3 or 4 times a week. The podcast will be twice a week, but I'll be doing other stuff over there, playing games and just talking with people and having a good time. So you can go check us out over there. Let's just jump into it, though, guys. So I talked about this before, but I kind of elaborated a little bit more on this. I've always wondered. I've seen a lot of comedy and stuff and a lot of stage performances, and I always wondered what those lights, that row of lights, is in front of the, on the stage. Is that so the performer themselves can see the edge of the stage? Is that for maybe just better lighting or for a shot? Or is that for impromptu soccer practice? Because that's the thought I always have. The thought I always have is, I wonder how far I could kick that light bulb. Wonder if I could get that guy in the back of the room. That's just my thought. It's a weird thought. Probably not worth a lot of... not worth continuing on that, but just a thought. Just a thought. So one thing I wanted to talk about today is I read an article recently that the state of Oklahoma sued a company called Purdue Pharmaceutical. If you don't know who Purdue Pharmaceutical is the company that created Oxycontin, the drug that has ravaged our country. So this year, 2019, Purdue Pharmaceutical was sued by the state of Oklahoma, and the state of Oklahoma won in a settlement. Purdue Pharmaceutical was made to pay $270 million to the state of Oklahoma. Now I'm going to explain to you why that is not a lot of money and why they need to be held even more accountable. So in 2017, Purdue Pharmaceutical reported making $35 billion. $35 billion. The entire company itself, okay? I don't know how many people they have employed, but I can guarantee you it does not cost them $35 billion to run their company. Probably far less. Okay, so this $270 million payment will be paid in a split payment. So not one big lump sum to the state of Oklahoma. One part of this payment, a sum of $195 million, will be paid by the company itself. The second payment will be paid by the family who owns Purdue Pharmaceutical, the Sackler family, and its estate. They will pay a mere $750 million. Both payments will not be given in one lump sum either. They will be paid out over the course of the next 5 years. So $270 million. One payment, or one part paid by the company of $195 million, and the other part paid by the family who owns them, the Sackler family, of $75 million over the course of 5 years. Okay. In 1 year, Purdue Pharmaceutical made $35 billion. If you ask me, I believe this should be payments of $270 million every year for the next 5 years to help clean up. And I think it should be more money than this. It just seems a little wrong, if you ask me. In a study recently that came out, they linked the opioid crisis to a $500 billion loss, $500 billion in economic losses in America. Okay, so this company that created this drug has so far cost us upwards of $500 billion. But they only have to pay $270 million over the course of 5 years to one state. I don't understand how anybody could think this is acceptable, or what is wrong with people? Why? First of all, these people need to be taken to court for criminal charges, in my opinion, for the things they have done to us. But second, how about $270 million a year instead of in split payments over the course of 5 years? It's just, I'm sorry for the noise in the background, by the way. I got the washing machine running in the other room. It's laundry day. That's why the mess behind me. But does that seem right to anybody? It sure doesn't seem right to me. Here's another one that I find really, really funny. Okay, let's check this out. In 2007, Purdue Pharmaceutical and 3 of its top executives were forced to pay over $630 million in federal fines for misleading marketing and for lying. I'll say that again. In 2007, Purdue Pharmaceutical and 3 of its top executives paid over $630 million in federal fines for misleading marketing of OxyContin. But they only have to pay $270 million over 5 years to Oklahoma. So these are obviously bad people. These are obviously people that have no care or concern for the well-being of the country. They're only in this to make money and making stronger and stronger drugs to make money, and then lying to people about these drugs so they can sell more of it. But yet they still are continued to allowed to operate, and they are still are allowed to make upwards of $35 billion a year. And that's just in 2017. No telling how much they made last year. They haven't reported yet. So just something I wanted to bring to the attention of the viewers, and something I think people should be thinking about. And next time your doctor offers you some kind of drug, maybe think about who's selling that to them, you know? Maybe think about that. All right, in a lighter note, I wanted to tell you guys about a pet I had a long time ago. So when I was in high school, I think probably a sophomore, so maybe 15, something like that. I'm not sure. I was in my room one day, and my dad came knocking on my door, and I was like, what's up? He says, come outside. So I go outside with him, and there's this hole in our backyard. Our backyard had a whole bunch of concrete, and then like 2 big pads of dirt that things would grow on. Anyway, so there's this big hole in the side in one of these patches of dirt. And I said, oh, okay, cool, big hole. And he goes, no, watch. And so we're staring at this hole for a little bit, and all of a sudden, out of this hole creeps this big-ass brown tarantula. Crawls out of this hole. My dad goes, we're going to catch this motherfucker. And I go, fuck, yeah, we are. And so we get, I had some koi fish before this. So we get this big-ass terrarium that I had. And we put some dirt in the bottom, and we put it outside his hole, kind of facing his hole so we could walk into it. So we then wait a little while, and dude comes walking into the terrarium, and we snatch him up, and we got him. We put the cap on it. And, yeah. And so then I had a wild tarantula for 2 years or something after that, and we fed him crickets. He lived a really good life in that terrarium. What I found out later, though, we named him Brian Wilson, by the way, the beard, because we're really big Giants fans in my family. So we named him Brian Wilson after the closer for the Giants. This was around the time when they were winning the World Series during the Dynasty era. Anyway, I then later found out that in the area that I lived, and the hills surrounding, were hundreds of thousands of tarantulas. Hundreds of thousands of tarantulas living around my community in the hills. And every year, these hundreds of thousands of tarantulas wander down out of the hills, across freeways and highways, into the town, into the valley, to breed. Now, when I later found this out, I felt so terrible for catching this tarantula. I felt so bad. Dude came down to get laid, and we ended up swooping him up and turned him into an incel. This poor guy. And no telling how old he was either. I'm not 100% sure. I know tarantulas can live a little while. I'm not 100% sure how long they live. But yeah, but it was definitely one of the coolest pets I've ever had. I've had cats, dogs, hamsters, fish, and then a fucking wild tarantula. That dude was the coolest. Never bit me either. He would never. I think when we first got him, he really would fling hairs. But after a while of feeding him, he learned to trust us. And I never let him crawl on me though. Never would do that. I'm not cool with creepy crawlies being on me, even if it's my own creepy crawly. I'm not cool with it. I don't even like snakes being on me. I don't like lizard. I don't like picking up lizards. None of that. Like I'll catch, grab, and gut a fish. I'll kill a deer and gut that. But any kind of creepy crawly little thing, get the fuck away from me. I don't want it. I don't want anything to do with it. Nothing. Nothing at all. All right. Oh, I never noticed that. That must be new. So, I've been feeling a little check-in for you guys. I've been feeling all right. I've been feeling better recently. Been getting the mood up. Getting more in tune with this. Getting better at it. Oh, I need a drink. My mouth is getting dry. America for the boys. So I've been feeling a lot better. I've been getting more active too. I've been working out a lot more, doing a lot of yoga and doing a lot of meditating and trying to get my head right. I'm just trying to get in a better space. I'm trying to get in a better mindset, in life. And it's been working out really well. I've been feeling a lot better. But one thing that's been going on recently is I am sick and tired of I'm tired of being the one in my friendships. Not all of my friendships. I do have a couple really good friends that are really good about keeping up with the friendship and are good in adult life. But I'm tired of putting myself out there for people to be let down all the time, I'm getting really sick and tired of this culture of nobody takes responsibility for the words that they say. Nobody follows up with their fucking plans anymore. And everybody just stays inside and lives vicariously through the internet. And I think it's becoming not just a problem in my circle, but I think it's probably a problem that a lot of us are dealing with. It's sad to see, It's like, I remember even just a few years ago, people were more willing to go out and do things. Even older people, and I'm not saying just people my age, but people were more willing to go out and do things and live their life and enjoy stuff. But now everybody just watches videos and watches YouTube. Nothing against YouTube videos, check out the channel. But everybody just watches YouTube videos and listens to podcasts, and then they feel, oh, okay, I'm done, I've accomplished. I don't need to go outside or experience the world around me because I'm doing it through my TV or through my phone, and it's just sad. And it's really kind of been upsetting me recently because I'm an extrovert. I like hanging out with people. I like being around people and talking to people and learning from people and being outside and experiencing life in the world. And, and it's just, I'm seeing more and more people aren't willing to do that. They want to, make one plan a month or one plan every few months, and they might go out and do something once or something, But it's disheartening, really. I mean, I think there's something to be gained by going out and experiencing things that you're not comfortable with and putting yourself in situations that make you uncomfortable or just in a different environment. You know what I mean? And not just constantly doing the things that you're used to doing and comfortable with doing, or just sitting around in your air-conditioned house or your climate-controlled house all day long, or just going between your work and home and school because you think that's all life is, and later when you have a successful career, maybe, you'll go out and go on vacations and do things. And I've never thought that way. I've never been that kind of person that's like, I'll wait till later in life to enjoy the world around me. I'll wait till later to go travel and stuff. No, I want to do it now while I'm young and my body will recuperate quicker, and I'm more willing to be out of my comfort zone and learn. My mind is more moldable and I'm able to learn more, I just, but that's my stance on the things, that's my way of thinking about it. But I wish more people would think that way too. It's just, it's sad. And you know what else I don't get is flakes. As everything gets easier and more convenient, people flake out on everything constantly, more and more and more and more. And one thing that I was always taught, or one of my core values is, if you say you're going to do something, you do it. If you make a plan, you follow through with it. No matter what, you do it. And that seems to be lost on people nowadays. People just think they can make plans willy-nilly and then just blow them off if they feel like it. Or just, nah, I'm not feeling it. I don't understand that. I don't, maybe it's the age we live in. Maybe it's the way certain people are raised. I don't know what it is. But I was always under the impression of, you make a plan, you tell somebody you're going to do something, you do it. You don't cat on people. Because if you never if you never stay true to your word, and you're constantly catting off on your friends and not showing up or not giving them the time of day, how do you expect to keep having those friends? Or how do you expect to keep having those people in your life? One, they're not going to trust you when you say you're going to do something anymore, because we know you're not going to. And two, when somebody makes an effort to put themselves in your life and be there for you and be around you, and they genuinely want your company, and you say you do too, or you say that you're their friend or whatever, and then you just blow them off like it's nothing and expect them to still be around, that's not going to happen. They're going to forget about you quickly. It's just, it's a key principle. If you want relationships, I know it's cliche, but relationships are like plants. You have to tend to them. You have to nurture them. You have to water them. You have to feed them. They're like animals too. You got to take care of them. And the less you take care of your friendships and your relationships in your life, the less you're going to have, and the more they're going to die. And I think that's something, and it's sad to say, but I think that's something that people really need to hear now. Because nobody cares anymore. Everybody thinks, I'll just live through the internet, and then I'll wait till later in life to live my life. And it wasn't always like that. People actually gave a fuck. Now nobody cares. I think the big sentiment that went around, especially when I was younger, is, I don't give a fuck. I don't give a single fuck. Not giving a fuck. You should give a fuck. You really, really should give a fuck. And you should care. And you should concern yourself with the world around you and the people around you. And you should nurture the relationships that you want to grow, instead of just expecting those people to still be there when you need them. Because they won't be. People don't stick around if they don't feel wanted or needed. They leave and they find a place where they are wanted or needed. Because people need relationships. People need friendships. And I think we're forgetting that more and more. And I think we think that our internet relationships or our Facebook friends are our real friends. And I guarantee you they're not. I guarantee you they're not. Make real friends. Talk to people. And follow through with your plans. And care about your friends. Care about the people that care about you. Because one day, if you continue to blow them off and forget about them, they won't anymore. And you're going to be alone. Even if you're in a relationship with somebody, that's not all you need. We are tribes people. We are tribal people by nature. We need groups to thrive. And the more you forget about that, the less you're going to thrive. So let that be something for you guys to think about. Hopefully I've opened some of your guys' eyes. And hopefully you're not just blowing off the words I'm saying as some dumb 24-year-old trying to say I know better than you. Because I don't. But I have experience. And I have knowledge. And I have wisdom to impart. And this is part of it. So, love and appreciate those that love and appreciate you. And give them the time of day. Show that you care. And show up. That's the big one. Show up. Because the less you show up, the less they're going to be around for you. And that's a fact. All right. Now on a lighter note, let's lighten it up a little bit for the end. This is going to be a shorter episode today. I wanted to introduce you guys to a comedian that I grew up on, that I love very dearly, that probably, not probably, did have a huge influence on the way that I think comedically and think in general, and the way that I kind of formulate funny thoughts, or the ways that I go about talking, and also educated me on a lot of things, because he's a really smart guy. If you guys haven't heard of him, his name is Eddie Izzard. He's a British transvestite comedian. The transvestite part didn't need to be said, but it does for this next clip that you're about to see, because it's a little off-putting if you didn't know who this guy was. So, he's a British comedian. He is probably one of the funniest people on the planet, in my opinion, and one of the most intelligent people on the planet, and comedians on the planet, in my opinion. He recently had stepped away from comedy for a while to pursue a career in English politics, and I believe was in Parliament for a little while, and might still be. I'm not 100% sure. But yeah, he's really a really smart guy. He's a really funny guy, and he's a really influential guy in my life. So let's take a second and watch one of my favorite clips of him. And I hope by the end of this, you are also a fan of Eddie Izzard. So, Comedian of the Week this week, Eddie Izzard, ladies and gentlemen. Hey guys, Future Michael here. So there's not going to be any clips of Eddie Izzard in this video. I really apologize. I just wanted to share one of my favorite comedians with you guys and one of my favorite bits with you guys. But unfortunately, NBC Entertainment has decided that they own my video, so they took my whole video off because I played, like maybe 5 minutes of 4 or 5 minutes, of a bit from Eddie Izzard on a not monetized video. But that's fine. They can just take the entire video that I made. That's cool. It's all theirs, and they took it down off of YouTube, because obviously they don't want anybody spreading or sharing Eddie Izzard's stuff. Even though I watched it on, I watched the Eddie Izzard video from a channel that wasn't NBC's channel, and the video was still up. But that was fine. But my 6 minutes wasn't. So NBC claimed my entire video and took it. So I had to come back, re-edit it, and drop this in here to let you know why you're now not seeing Eddie Izzard, and to tell you, please go watch Eddie Izzard on YouTube so you can see the bit. Okay? Thank you. And also, go fuck yourself, NBC. Thanks a lot. Go fuck yourself. Alright. Back to past Michael. Bye. Alright. I love that dude. That is... He's probably one of the funniest guys on this planet, for sure. So that was Eddie Izzard from his stand-up special, Circle. I'm making no money off this, by the way, so don't copyright me, please, whoever owns that, Eddie. I feel that the younger generation probably doesn't have a good grasp of comedians before this. I think everybody, just knows the people that are out now and the people that have podcasts and like this small circle of comedians. But there are so many great comedians out there that I just want to help spread their works, and I want people to deep dive, and go back and look at these people that are just some of the funniest people on this planet. So that was Eddie Izzard from Circle. by far one of my favorite comedians of all time. And that was the comic of the week. And this was the show. I hope you guys liked this one. It's a little bit shorter of an episode this time, but I enjoyed it. I think we talked about some good stuff. We went over Purdue. I talked about how I was feeling recently and some stuff that was going on with me, and a little bit of a message to care about your friends and your relationships and nurture them, and don't just expect people to stick around just because. Make sure you put time aside for those people in your life that you care about, because if you don't, they could disappear. And also, I had a pet tarantula named Brian Wilson. But that was the episode. That's episode 8. I really appreciate you guys watching this. I really appreciate everybody that's listening to this, and anybody that joined me over on Dlive for the first 10 minutes before we started the episode. So, once again, thank you. Make sure you leave a like and a comment on this video on YouTube. If you're watching it on there, make sure you subscribe and hit the notification bell. We got new uploads, new videos every Monday and Thursday for the most part. You can find me over on Dlive at Michael DeGeorge, Dlive.com or Dlive.tv/Michael DeGeorge, DaGeorge, all one word. I'll be streaming there 3 to 4 days a week. You can always catch the 10 minutes before the podcast and the first 5 minutes of the podcast over there live, and you can chat with me and we can have a good time together. Make sure you subscribe to us if you want to listen. You can subscribe to us on iTunes and Google Play under Force the Funny. Leave a review. It really helps out, and it lets the overlords know what you think of us and know that you like us and know that you want to keep hearing from us. Yeah, so that's the show. Once again, I love and appreciate every single one of you guys. I hope that all goes well and that you succeed in everything that you endeavor in. Thank you for coming over.
Fuck this shit, I'm out. Fuck this shit, I'm out. No thanks. Don't mind me. I'ma just grab my stuff and leave. Excuse me, please. Fuck this shit, I'm out. Nope. Fuck this shit, I'm out. Alright then. I don't know what the fuck just happened, but I don't really care. I'ma get the fuck up out of here. Fuck this shit, I'm out.